بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Weekly Discussion. I'm Sabia Kamali.
And I'm Sultana Begum. We'll be discussing some of the news that have made some of the headlines this week. Sabia.
Headlines. I could just about hear myself.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so the first story that you picked was on Trump travel ban. Why did you pick that? I'm sure we spoke about it in the past.
Yeah, we have. I do feel we have exhausted this topic, so I won't go into details today. But I think what it was just to mention that the federal court or the federal appeal court have upheld the previous judgment, and so the ban is still on. So I just thought it'd be interesting just to give a little update. I know we've discussed this before, so we'll probably leave it. Just wanted to give. Did you want to add anything to this?
No, I just thought. I thought you wanted to talk about it, but
yeah,
I think the thing about travel ban and Trump, Trump's kind of funny. I like the fact that he tweeted the fact that see you in court, the security of our nation is at stake. I mean, everything, he just makes it as like, oh my God, if we don't ban the Muslim, the security of the nation will be at stake. So I think the way that we talk about it every week, I think that's how he prolongs the whole Muslim ban. And I think he's so adamant that he has to put it, and that's the only way. And I think, for me, I guess it's one of those things, isn't it? He actually believes that Muslims are the potential problem. So let's see what happens with him. But
he's very emotional, isn't he? The way he's very quick to tweet his opinions and his feelings.
But I guess from his point of view is the media don't like him much, so it's best for him to tweet direct, and this way he has direct access to the public. He says how he feels. I mean, it's early days, but obviously social media has its negative ways of looking at issues, but I guess it's one of those things, isn't it? Let's see how it goes. But
it's like he creates his own little media kind of thing.
It's a good thing, because I personally believe that the fact that the mainstream media will feel like there are other alternative ways of actually people sort of expressing their own opinion, I personally believe it's a good thing, because it will keep them on their toe and they'll be more careful, there'll be less biased news. Look at the whole, especially the Rohingya case. If the social media didn't pick it up, it was never on the media, and it's been there for so long. So I think with the social media, of course, like everything, there's a good way and a bad way. It's how you use it for your, like the social media. But I think it's a good thing, and I think the fact that as the president, he's actually chose social media, his direct, how he feels without being fabricated or misinterpreted, it comes out how he says it. So I personally think it's a good thing that he's sort of addressing people straight away, but I don't like the fact that he dodges certain things and sort of does things in a different manner.
Yeah, definitely, because there was a bit here where they said that where where he was talking about his own opinion, and and it's going to go anyway. He said he's going to take it further, so let's wait and see what happens.
Yeah, and I think with the whole Trump on travel ban, I think the fact that the judge stepped in and went against what he said, decided, that just shows there is some faith left. So I think that's good. However, with Trump, not everything is positive.
Tell the next story that you chose.
Wife leaves husband after 22 years because he voted for Donald Trump.
Okay.
So
wow.
What do you think about that? I mean, when I actually was looking at the story, my husband looked at me and goes, how silly is that? Why would you leave your husband over a vote? He goes, that's so bizarre. It doesn't exist. He goes, that's all made up. I was like, no, it does exist. Voting can affect your relationship. He goes, no. So we were having this discussion that I'm trying to explain to him. Look, when
you didn't fall out, did you?
No, I'm still here. Basically, what I was trying to say to him is like, people do, when you have two strong opinions, it does conflict, because it's about showing that I think mentally, subconsciously, we think our way is the right way of looking. There's two ways of looking at it, but we always think our way is the right way. Hence why we all have difference of opinion. But I think he didn't understand it. Even though he read the article, he thought, oh, it's silly. But I guess from a from me being a woman, from a woman's point of view, I didn't think the article was silly. I thought it does has an implication in the community as well.
It was, just to read a little bit out, she said, it says basically the retired Californian prison guard, she's a Democrat leaning towards socialist. She says she was stunned when her husband casually mentioned during a launch with friends last year that he planned to vote for Trump, and she described it as a deal breaker. She said it totally undid me that he could vote for Trump. And she said that she had never thought of leaving him before, but she felt betrayed by his support of Trump. Deep.
Of course it is. Well, I suppose it really depends on the couple, how involved they are politically. Because if you're not involved politically, it doesn't make a difference. Oh, well, what could we do? We woke up and it was a different president. But if you're involved politically, and if you understand how it works, and you understand how your one vote could make all the difference, I guess it did. And the fact that she was, I mean, I was reading the article and it did say that how she was changing her views, and then she realized how much she moved away from her original way of thinking, and she probably, that's how she realized they were like on two different ways. So I think that was the whole thing, because I think through this she sort of rediscovered how much she changed as a person than what she was.
Because she does say that, and she goes, it opened, she said, I felt like I'd been fooling myself. It opened up areas between us I had not faced before, right? So she said, I realized how far I had gone in my life to accept things I would never accept it when I was younger. So what it did was, it's almost like it was like it was like a last straw or something in a relationship. So I did think, when I read it initially, I thought, that's a bit silly. Why would you leave? Why would you, like, you know, like you think that. But then as I read it, I thought, okay, it goes quite deep. So it sounds like that maybe for her, like you said, it was such a strong thing, and it might have triggered other things that might not be right in their relationship as well.
It's true, because there were, even besides, I think probably this was the time that they actually got into a discussion and then realized how much their views were apart. It's like, even with, when it came to Brexit, I remember voting for it and my husband voted against it. And we had our discussion, and I just thought his arguments didn't make sense, and he probably thought my arguments didn't make sense. But I guess because my husband's not so political about anything, and I think that's why we didn't get into any heated discussion or argument. I thought there's no point of discussing any further, because obviously he has his view, I have my views. But I guess with certain people, I think in this case, I think it sort of brought out other issues as well, and I think as they were discussing, it changed that stuff. But I tell you what else was interested is where other people actually sort of found people that voted against Trump, and they sort of found comfort in each other. And for me, I think it brought back the whole Iraq war, because all these people were united under this umbrella. Obviously what happened in Iraq was wrong, we all like campaigned against it, but it brought like people in this country together, a lot of people. And I think when I read that bit, it just sort of brought back memories, like something that could be little or big, regardless of how you see it, could impact you for a long term.
Yeah, because it's not, you know, like what you're saying, Sabia, it's not just about the fact that people are just talking about an election. The election has consequences, right? So Trump is someone who's seen as being very different to the Democrat, right? And like you said, the Iraq war had a huge effect. I think it goes on, by the way, just to let people know that in the article it says 3 months after the election, there's been fractured families and upended relationships, and a number of Americans say emotional wounds are raw as ever and show few signs of healing. 16%, and we're just going to give for a few statistics. The Reuters poll that was taken on 27 December, January 18, shows a number of respondents who have argued with a family is around 33%, and 16% said they have stopped talking to a family member or friend because of the election. And that edged higher to 22% amongst those who voted for Hillary Clinton. Overall, 13% of respondents said they had ended a relationship with a family member or close friend over the election.
Well, funny, the White House did not respond to the polling comment. So yeah, which was kind of interesting, because I suppose it could be seen as that, okay, they take on board, it could be true, what do they say to it? But it does. I think it's a huge, like a huge...
But what do you think, Sabia? Like, you know, the idea that, okay, this bit, you know, like where they said 16% have stopped talking to a family member, right, or a friend. Imagine this is your brother or your sister. I mean, like, do you think that's even possible? You know, I was thinking about, like, many years ago when I was involved a little bit politically. I remember how strong those feelings were.
Yeah.
And I did see, actually thinking
Well,
back,
I guess you could answer your own question, 'cause
yeah.
it does. I think your experience is one of those experiences that you could tell
Yeah.
how it has an impact on your life and
Yeah.
how it impacts your decision. And the way you see things, others don't see it like that. I know people say politics isn't a big thing. Of course it is. It governs who we are. It governs everything around us.
Change your
It
life,
changes
didn't
us
it?
around
Yeah.
us. Of course it does.
Yeah.
It has implication on everything we do.
even like, I mean, would you say that, I mean, I was thinking, like, I know when I got involved, this was years back, I think after Iraq War, I got involved in a little bit of local politics, community-wise. I remember that myself and my sister both got involved.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, going out, I think she stood for election at that time, and I was supporting everybody. And I know it really affected our relationship afterwards, because she felt that I didn't support her, but I was like, no, we have to. So I was on this.
Well, I would be upset if you were my sister and you didn't support me.
I did support her, but I guess I felt this sense of like, okay, this is a cause we have to, you know, like, you know, going back to how
See, that's the
strong
thing,
those
that's
feelings are.
You saw it as a
cause.
Like, as a cause. We should all support ourselves.
I
and
forgot about
about don't say you
I did forget about her. What I
Don't
meant
say
is that I somehow
trying to
put
justify your
no,
actions.
No, I put. I mean, I did support her as well,
Yeah.
but I put family relationship
Yeah.
second, and I think
See,
it's
that's, I
because
think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think you saw it as the whole community, the
Yeah.
whole cause was greater,
Yeah.
and your sister thought,
Yeah.
you're my sister, you should
I know.
support me. So I guess it's
and it
different.
did affect our relationship a little bit. You know, she was
Of
really
course it
upset
will.
with me for a while.
Of course
But
it will. I would
sorry,
be.
I don't know if I should be saying this.
I would be.
publicly, but
I
yeah.
would be. But yeah, I guess it will.
So this is why I'm thinking, when I was reading that, where they said stop, they have actually stopped talking. I thought, you know what, I can really relate to that. I can see that happening, because those kind of things go so deep that it can fracture those kind of relationships, right? And sometimes you're making decisions, you know, that it, yeah. So I was reading that and it resonated for me.
When I was talking to one of the suppliers that I use for like wedding catering, yesterday he was saying to me like how people don't realise how the Brexit vote affected us, because he goes, for them lot as a wholesale, they buy, like, because he does wedding wholesale catering, and then he said the vegetable they used to buy a bulk in £8. That after the Brexit vote from £8 is turned into £18.
Yeah.
Now, could you imagine if that's how much they paying, how much they're going to charge a customer?
Yeah.
So I think everything that we do, there's we're responsible. Every action we take, there's that responsibility with that. I don't think people take it that important. I think generally when it comes to politics, people are not as political as they should be, and people don't, as like not many people look into what they're voting for. I mean, even till today, we think we've moved so far in politics, but when you go back talking to people, people still are under the illusion is Labour Party gives, they call it Labour.
Do you remember back in the day?
No, back
Oh
in the day, it still happened.
Oh
So even though we say we're educated, we've moved forward, but there are certain things that we don't move away from. We don't, when we vote, we don't look into policies, we don't look into what they stand for, we don't look into the candidate, what they do, and they are so important. And I think if we don't learn anything from the US election, then we haven't learned anything.
Yeah.
So I think,
you're right,
we should all take a conscious decision. I know when it comes to politics, we get really emotional, and I think we should move away from making emotional decision to rational decision, because I mean, if you're going to move forward in life, I think it has to be rationally.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Sabia. And I actually, I actually agree with everything you just said. And I think, oh my God, there's another bit that goes, and I know we're going to move on. So I'm just going to last bit. This is 70% said they had blocked a family member from social media. Sorry, it's just.
What did they say? How many? On the social media?
Have blocked a family member or a close friend on social media because of the election. It's like, oh my God, this is like.
I know,
deep.
but do you know what? I think these are picked on people who are politically active. And obviously, because you're politically active, you've worked so hard on a cause, and you can't understand why a loved one doesn't see things the way you do.
Let's hope they repair the relationships, right?
Yeah, let's hope so. Because could you imagine? Well, I can't see someone going back to their husband after 20. Well,
yeah, that's. Yeah. Yeah, that's a difficult one.
Yeah, that definitely is. Let's see how it goes. But yeah,
Okay,
it's quite sad, but it's the truth. What's the next one?
It's Michael Flynn's resignation. So basically, he's a national security advisor who had to resign after he misled the vice president. This is what is in the BBC, by the way, that we're reading, because apparently over his relationship with Russia his close relationship.
Yeah.
It said that Mr. Flynn, I'm just going to read from the BBC article. It says Mr. Flynn resigned over allegations he discussed US sanctions with a Russian envoy before Donald Trump took office. So
yeah, I was actually listening to it in the car just before I came to work, on LBC, and I think the pick that they picked up on the most was like, why wouldn't President sort of answer questions about it? Because if you knew he was misleading, surely you would have picked up earlier. So I think he's been dodging and avoiding answering that. So I think that's what they were saying in LBC today. But it is because if something like that, it's like going back on the Iraq War again, isn't it? Blaming the intelligence, but you are aware.
Yeah,
it just feels like deja vu again.
I mean, I thought we'd heard this before, but it's like, you know, like,
history repeats itself again.
Yeah, I heard that there was some, you know, like before during that time, the election, there was some discussion around the fact that Russia was somehow sort of linked to the election and what have you. But yeah, and I think it was in the Attorney General who resigned. She mentioned something about that as well. But it was
Trump isn't sort of responding to media queries, but however, he has tweeted what he's been known for. Say, this was on Tuesday. The real story here is, why are there so many illegal leaks coming out of Washington? Will these leaks be happening as ideal on North Korea, etc.? So I think he's trying to take away the real issues and trying to divert it somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, see, there's also accusations in Reuters saying that US reports said earlier that the White House had been warned about the contact last month and had been told Mr. Flynn might be vulnerable to Russian blackmail.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you know, when it comes to American politics, I don't know if you've seen this Netflix drama House of Cards, and then you see all these like backhand deals and how they play certain things. So every time I think of American politics, House of Cards comes into my head, because you think, how do you know that was a real situation? How do you know it's not constructed? How do you know it's the easy way out, blaming someone and like get them to take responsibility, but really the whole system was behind, and it's easier to get rid of one person. I mean, again, that's a drama, that might not be the real thing, but it sort of it does raise question marks, that the fact that it took them this long to actually sort of point a finger at it when you were away for a long time. So I think stuff like that does raise question marks. However, it's hard to tell if the White House isn't really sort of talking or responding. So, I mean, I'm actually waiting to hear what President Trump is going to say about this issue, but I haven't heard anything yet. So.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Let's wait and see what happens, yeah? Okay.
What are you looking at there?
Okay, so the next story is basically, it's kind of connected. It says it's a poll that was done.
Everything's connected to America. Everything we do.
It was a poll that was done, and it was So basically, the Chatham House survey published on Tuesday found 55% of Europeans from 10 different nations agree that Muslim immigration should be stopped. Just 20% say they want migration from the Islamic world to continue, while 25% say neither agree or disagree.
Wow. Yeah, I know, I saw that and I was kind of disheartened. People don't like it as much.
I know. And guess who tweeted this out?
Very unprecedented Trump. Yeah, I thought it would be him.
He couldn't wait to do it. So he tweeted that out. Yeah, and I just thought, actually made me feel a bit sad.
Why?
55% of people don't like us. You know, like, I don't know, I just felt a bit like, it just actually made me feel a bit like, where are we today? Where this, you know, okay, this is what I'm thinking.
Do you know what? We can't really blame everything on Trump, to be fair, because as Muslims, I mean, not just Muslim, I know we shouldn't be taking responsibility of what stupid people do. However, saying that, there are some people who carry out stupid acts in the name of Islam, and that sort of becomes a scaremongering things amongst. I know the media hypes it up and made the Muslim the enemy, like the way it was with Jews, and now it's Muslim the enemy. But at the same time, I think we should take certain responsibility as well, because it's not all Trump decided to tweet and everyone thought, yes, I agree, because he's been against everyone, say gay, women, he's been against everyone. So with his like controversial comments, generally people don't like him, and the fact that a lot of people don't like Muslim is not because of Trump. I think it's more the role that the media played in this whole thing more than anyone else. And I think if anyone should take responsibility, it should be the media for not sort of showing everything and highlighting certain issues. It's like saying, in a football match, you have, obviously there's so many football supporters, but then you get few hooligans. So do you say all the fans of a certain football team take responsibility of few people? That's how it is, isn't it? Few people carry out certain acts, and the whole Muslim community take blame for it, and we are automatically in the defense, or we're guilty, or at some point, I think the whole hatred towards Muslim, I think Trump is sort of like the new thing, but in general, it's been hyped for a long time. And yes, politics played a huge role in making Muslim the enemy, but I think at the same time there has been certain Muslim acted in a certain way that gave them the ammunition to actually do certain things.
No, do you know what? I do agree. I mean, I do agree with that point that as Muslims, maybe we haven't helped the matter. But then, having said that, the people that are carrying out some of these acts are a minority amongst the Muslims. Majority of Muslims are pretty peaceful. When I look at Syria, you know, I've been to Syria. It's such a beautiful, peaceful country. And when I see the country reduced to rubble in the way it is, and people arguing about, oh, who should take these Syrian children, you know, and who, you know, and these countries like America saying they want to ban Syria as an example.
Yeah, if you didn't bomb them in the first place, they wouldn't come into your country.
Exactly.
So I know this. Okay, we're gonna go on a quick break now. Just before we go on a quick break, sorry, I'm talking out my nose today because I don't sound that great, but everything that we've said and everything that has been said today is from what we've read, and we sort of going over the news and sort of saying how it was. Okay, we'll see you after the break. Assalamu alaikum.